Hello everyone, my name is Pieter Goeteselschap and today I will talk about the article with the title Lowest ever black jobless rate is still twice that of the whites. So, unemployment rate for black workers hit its lowest point on record recently, in the USA at least. But are the job chances for black workers as equal as the job chances for white workers? That's my question. It's a sign that there is a recovery for the groups that have been left out, like the black people, but the relative gains have not erased disparities in opportunity and pay. A tight market alone can't undo a legacy of unequal school funding, residential segregation, or disproportionate rate of incarceration for black Americans. Nor can it reverse the gradual shift of well-paying jobs from inner cities to mostly white suburbs. Studies have found that discrimination in hiring and pay persist in even good economic times, making parity an elusive goal. So, there is a strong economy at the moment. A strong economy is exciting for high-growing areas, but blacks are still filling temporary positions or low-wage jobs that result in a flat level of income. Nationwide in the USA, the typical annual pay for a black person working full-time is only $40,000. For a white person, full-time, it's $52,000. So there is quite a gap. Now we'll talk about my graph. So, a narrowing but persistent gap. So you always see a gap between the white and the black curve. The employment rate for the black Americans is about 6 points lower at this point than that for whites. The disparity shrinks during better economic times, but like I said, you always see a gap, so never really disappears. What we can see in 1969, there was around 10 points gap between the white people and the black people, the curve of the white and the black people. The curve of the black people, like you can see, grew over the 2 years, slightly, not extensively, but they grew. But in 2001, both curves declined. Like you can see, they both declined a bit till around, they went a bit steady till 2009. And like we all know, in 2009, there was a large economic crisis. So let's talk about the curves of the white at first. The curve of the white people decreases with around 4 points in 1 year time. But after that 1 year, like in 2010, it slightly went up again till 2017. So like you can see that they're almost back at the employed rate from 2008 before the crisis. But if we look at the curve of the black people, we can see that it almost dropped for 3 years straight. It went down with around, I think, 8 or 9 points, and in 2012 it reached its lowest point of the decennia. Now it's increasing again, and it's only 6 points away from the curve of the white people. So now we're again in better economic times, and the black people are just getting hired more, and everybody wants a person in their company, and we accept black people. We should always accept them, but it used to be different. That was my article. Now I will go over to my economic term. My economic term, what I've chosen is kleptocracy. So what is kleptocracy? We can say it is a corrupt and thieving government in which the politicians and the bureaucrats are in charge and use the powers of the state to feather their own nests. Let's take an example like Russia. Russia, in the years immediately after the fall of the communism, was a clear-cut example, with mafia-friendly government members allocating themselves valuable shares because after the communism, all the state-owned companies were privatized, and so people could push them in a certain direction. It would help them with with bonding and getting better connections and all of that. They accepted bribes from foreign businesses, not collecting taxes from helpful companies, and even ship-hoing of international aid. So if other other countries were helping them, they would just put it in their own pocket in an offshore bank account. So that's a bit what kleptocracy is. Then we only have the sources left. Yeah, you see all the sources. The first one is for my article, and the two down low are for my economic term. Thank you very much for listening.